All the thoughts are of your daddy, the devil.
Well, the devil's not my daddy.
If you believe thoughts, the devil is your daddy. Why do you worship thoughts? Why do you believe him if he is not your daddy?
He's not my daddy.
Then why do you worship him?
He's not my daddy.
So why do you worship him then?
I don't worship the devil. Are you crazy?
Believing thoughts is worshiping the devil. Are you crazy?
Okay, so where?
Joe, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, Jesse, how's it going?
All is well, Joe.
Oh man, about the hunting thing, dude. It kind of goes to what's going on. You have to think about it for a second. Why are they trying to stop people from hunting?
Because they're evil and they're jealous.
No, it's because, well, I'm sure it's partly that, but I think it's because they really, who owns 60 to 70% of the farmland right now? Bill Gates, I think it's some number like that, and it's an astounding number actually. And now they want to cut down on you going out and hunting for your own meat.
Well, it's all about control.
On children.
It's all about control, and these same people that, as we were saying earlier, these same people that's trying to stop the hunters, they are pushing, killing the human beings in the womb. They're killing innocent innocent children inside the womb, and that's because they're on the side of evil and not on the side of good.
Right, and and then they're also hunting our children in the streets. You know, I mean,
yeah.
I'm having a hard time combating this indoctrination of the LGBTQ plus AI, ABCDFG at my children's school.
Oh, so you have kids in the public school?
Yeah, I live in Skokie, so yeah, I'm having a bit of a hard time with.
Why don't you take them out?
Because it's the same crap going on in the private school.
Well, let your wife homeschool them.
Well, so we're divorced.
And why don't you find a homeschool community? There has to be homes because more and more people, especially white people, are starting to take their children out of the public and some of this private education. Yeah. Why don't you find a homeschool district in your area and put your kids there?
It's a good idea. I'm going to look into that actually.
Why have it?
But it's not just my children. It's not just my children. It's the community and their children, and like these people are asleep.
But why are you concerned about their children? They have to take care of their own children. Most parents.
I'm concerned about all of our kids.
Why?
And
why?
This evilness.
Tell me why.
Why? Because I don't want. Because it's evil. This is evil. I don't want to see anybody.
But why are you
indoctrinated into this?
Why are you concerned about other people's children when they are not concerned about their own children?
Well, I don't think it's not that they're not concerned. I think that they're ill-informed. I don't think that they know what's going on in the school
system. They don't
system.
care. Husbands don't make their wives stay home and raise his children and educate them. The wife, the so-called mother of the children, want to go out and leave the kids in a daycare center or school so she can feel good about her ego. They don't care. Why don't you face reality of that so you can take care of your own family?
Well, I am taking care of my own family.
But
at the same time, I'm also not just standing up for my children at the school board meetings and things of that nature. I'm also standing up for everyone else in the community that's not standing up. And I think that we have to band together. And I mean, I can't do this alone.
Joe, that's all ego. Why would you stand up for someone that won't stand up for themselves?
Again, I think that it's just them being ill-informed.
No.
Of not really, literally not knowing what's going on in the school system.
They don't want to know.
But yeah, you're probably right.
So answer my question. Why stand up for someone that don't want to stand up for themselves? Do you see God trying to stop them from doing that to the children?
No.
And so why are you playing God with other folks' children?
I'm not necessarily playing God
Yes,
with other
you
people's
are.
children.
God is letting
I'm
them
standing up for
suffer.
my children.
No, you said you're also doing it for other people too. You're
Well,
playing.
yeah. So
Stay
while
with me.
doing
Just stay
that,
with me.
standing
Stay
up for
with
my
me. Stay with me. Why are you playing God with other folks' children by trying to fight for them and you're standing up for them and you're standing up for the community rather than protecting your own children? Your order as a father given to you by God is to protect your family.
So how do we crush this then? How do we stop all this if we're just going to worry about ourselves and not worry about anything other than what's going on?
What does it do for you to worry about others?
I don't know.
So if you don't know, why are you doing it?
Well, I'm standing up for my kids, and while I'm standing up for my children, yeah.
Do you now understand that you're only responsible for your children?
Yes, sir. Yeah, absolutely.
And you're
but
just
at the same time,
go ahead.
No, at the same time, you spoke about ego. For me, it's not ego. It is just strictly protecting my children.
So if it's not ego,
and
why
I'm not doing that by leaving them in the school system. You're correct. So now you gave me an idea to actually go out and look for something else outside of even private schools. So because DEI is in every facet of society now.
Right. And so if it's not ego, why are you out there trying to save the community?
I'm not trying to save the community. I'm trying to stand up for what I think is right.
Why are you trying to save somebody else's children if it's not ego?
It isn't about saving other people's children. If we don't come together and we don't fight it together, not one man can do it alone.
Why do you say that?
Otherwise, if I just take my kids out,
no, stay me with that point. Why do you go ahead? If you do what?
If I take my children out of the school system and I just say screw it, and then I just focus solely on them, obviously, how does that solve any of the problems? Anything?
I'm sorry, Joe. Repeat that.
How does it solve any problem if I just take them out of the school system and just ignore it?
So if you took your children out of the public school system and put them in a homeschool to watch over them, your problem won't be solved?
No, but the problem as a whole, my problem would be solved, but as a whole, it would not. So it would continue going on.
So your problem would be resolved, right? Right?
Yeah.
It's
a very simplistic way of
wait, I got another question. Are you a whole or are you divided?
I don't understand the question.
Are you a one person or are you divided?
Well, I'm one person.
So why wouldn't your problem be solved as a whole?
Well, my problem wouldn't be solved as a whole, but it would be solved as because it would still continue going on all around us.
Would it still be affecting you and your children?
Yes, because it's in every single facet of our lives. Even regardless, right now, I take them out of school, we still have to contend with DEI in the workplace, DEI in the colleges.
Let's deal with one issue at a time. I don't know what DEI is, but if
diversity, equity, and inclusion.
So if you took your children out of the public school, either homeschool them yourself or put them in a homeschool, you would still have to deal with DEI?
Oh, absolutely.
How would you still have to deal with it?
Because my kids would be viewing it and seeing it. You can't go to a movie. You can't take them to a Disney movie or whatever, Pixar movie without it being in.
But why take them to that? You're responsible for your children.
So they can't do anything. So what you're saying is that they can't do anything. We should just ignore it and not fight anything, and we should because it's ego. That's how I'm viewing that.
Joe, why would you have to sacrifice? You're responsible for your own children. Why would you have to sacrifice them to any of that stuff? There are things they can do and will be able to do where that stuff is not involved. Why would you have to sacrifice them to those things?
I'm not sacrificing them things. I'm trying to save them from those things. My children first and foremost. So if I'm standing up for my children and talking about it, it's also helping to stand up for those who are not standing up for themselves.
Do they need your help?
Yes.
But
yeah,
why can't you help them?
We all need our help. We need to come together as a country.
Where'd you get that from? Where'd you get that idea from?
Where did I get what idea?
That we all need to come together to save a country.
Our country's in ruin right now.
What is the country?
United States of America.
Why don't you try to save you and your children? Have you heard of Christ?
Again, it's small steps.
Have you heard of Jesus Christ?
Where do we start now? At the home. Pardon me?
Have you heard of Jesus Christ?
Yeah, I think so.
Was he one man or the world?
He was one man.
And did that one man conquer the world?
Did he conquer the world?
Yes.
No.
Oh, he didn't? So you have not heard about him then?
Well, he conquered the world. I'm not following your.
Did one man conquer the world? Jesus.
Well, he spread the word of.
Are you a Christian?
He spread his word.
Are you a Christian?
I just turned. Yeah.
And did one man conquer the world?
I don't know.
Oh, you don't know much about him?
No, I'm just learning.
Oh, I got you. It only take one Joe to conquer his own world. You need to first conquer your world instead of being on an ego trip trying to conquer other people's world. They don't want you to. They don't want help, Joe. They love going to these schools and fighting with the devils and feeling good and thinking that they are better. They don't want to solve any problems at all. Your responsibility as a man and as a father to protect your children from the world, and you'll be fine, and your kids will be fine. You'll be in it, but not of it. You are not responsible for.
I feel you on that. Makes sense.
You're not responsible for other people's children. They don't even care about their children. They don't. These mothers is out there fighting and carrying on in these schools about the LGBT mess. They don't care about the children. If they did, they would stay home and raise their children.
Yeah. Never calling in trying to get different viewpoints of it, and for me, it isn't ego. I'm thinking that standing up for my children is standing up for the community, standing up for other children. I'm not literally saying I'm standing up for my neighbor's children, but by me speaking out against it, I hope that they don't have to deal with that either.
Why do you hope that? Because they don't even hope that for themselves.
But maybe they don't know.
They do know
what's going on.
No, they know. Everybody in the country know what's going on.
talking to some parents, they don't seem to know what books are in the schools.
They may not know every little small detail, but they know what's going on.
But
and
that's like the biggest detail.
And yet they sacrifice their children to the public school or some daycare center because they don't love their children. They love their ego. That's why they rather go out and pretend and lie and say they love their children when they're really feeding their egos. Because
I never got involved in the community or going to meetings or anything like that, never. But as soon as this stuff overstepped and they started to come after my kids, that's where I draw the line.
But you didn't draw the line because you haven't withdrawing them from the school system. You don't have to.
I just don't know how it solves. I don't understand how it solves a problem. Just turning a blind eye and just worrying about not only oneself, but not. I don't know how to put it.
How to put what?
Well, I'm not just. I'm worrying about my children.
But then take your children out.
Right, I got that. Now, I said that I agree with you, and they gave me a good idea to look into something else, the homeschooling thing. I didn't know that there were actually homeschooling communities.
And who else are you worried about then?
Pardon me?
Who else are you worried about?
No, I'm just worried about the education. I'm not worried about people. I'm worried about the education that's going on.
But if you're taking your children out, what is there to worry about?
Because it doesn't solve anything. It doesn't stop the problem
you're
from
repeating
continuing.
yourself. It doesn't solve your problem.
Yeah. Jesus, this is secular. It doesn't going around in circles doesn't solve anyone's problems if we don't band together.
When you didn't answer my question yet, does it solve your problem and your children?
Not completely. No, it doesn't.
Why not?
Completely.
Why not?
Because it's in every facet of our lives.
Is it in your life?
It's in the yes. It's in
how
yes,
is it
in the
in
bank.
how is it in your life?
Because I'm surrounded by it.
How is it in your life?
Because it's affecting my children.
How is it in your life?
It's affecting my children. That's affecting my life.
How is it affecting your children?
Because the shit is being pushed down their throats.
And who is allowing that to happen?
Well, I just found this out towards the middle of this year of what was going on.
And so
then
once you found out...
Again, I've allowed it. You're right. I've allowed it.
Okay, so whose fault is that you allowed it?
My fault. Absolutely.
And so your responsibility is to do what?
Stop paying taxes that go into serving kids.
Your responsibility to do what about you? Joe, your responsibility to do what about your children?
To take care of them.
Okay. And once that's done, it's the problem solved.
No.
It's a solve for you and your children.
Partly.
It's a solve for you and your children.
Partly.
How partly?
Because it isn't. I mean, if you don't know what DEI is, I suggest that you look into it.
I know about that. I do know what that is. But how is it not solved with your children, Joe?
Because it's in every facet of their lives. It's still in their face.
Give me another.
We just can't ignore it and turn a blind eye to it.
So give me another. So we're talking about the public schools, right? And you're going to homeschool, find a homeschool family friends.
Going to look into that for sure.
Right.
Again,
and then,
I appreciate that.
So that problem is going to be solved when you do that, right? How else is it how is a facet in their life when we got that problem solved?
Well, eventually they're going to get out of school, and then they're going to go into the real world and deal with DEI into the workplace.
Are they out of school already?
Well, for the summer.
Are they going out in the real world of work?
Well, they're going into high school soon.
So they're not they're not in the workplace and not dealing with DEI in the workplace, right?
Not yet. My daughter will probably get a job when some kind of summer thing probably.
So why are you concerned about something that's not happening?
It is happening.
It's not happening. She's not working.
Well, it's not happening to my children.
So
but
then
it's
why are
happening
you
in general.
worried about something that's not happening to your children?
Why should I wait for it to affect them?
Why are you worried about something that's not happening to your children?
Why should I wait for it to
Answer
affect
that
them?
question first.
I can't answer that question until you tell me why should I wait till it affects them?
How do you know what's going to happen with them before it happens?
Because look at the way the world is going right now.
Joe.
What do you mean it's a $9 billion a year industry?
Joe, why are you worried about something before it happens? How do you know what's going to happen?
Because it's happening. It is happening.
Joe, how you know what's going to happen to you and your children before it happens?
again, how do we stop something that's currently happening, for instance, with inside the school system?
But,
so we just take our kids out, we homeschool them, turn a blind eye to it, and then worry about it when it comes time, but not fight against it while it's happening? Where's the logic in that?
When you're taking your children out, you're homeschooling them, you know what's going on, so that's why you're doing it. How are you turning a blind eye?
I'm turning a blind eye for their future. I mean,
Joe, you're pulling them out of the schools, right?
Yes.
You're going to find a homeschool and do that, right?
Well, the homeschool.
So how are you turning a blind eye for you and your children?
Because I'm not fighting against it.
How are you not fighting against it? You're taking your children away from it. You're aware of it now. You're taking your children away from it.
I take my children out and all this other stuff, and then it still continues in the public school system.
What does it have to do with you?
Kids, because it absolutely will affect my kids.
No, what would that have to do with you? Your children are not there, Joe.
Right, but they live in the same community in which other children who are being indoctrinated into this. And when my kids say, hey, listen, maybe this isn't a great idea. Maybe we shouldn't, whatever it may be, they'll have a difference of opinion.
And so what's wrong with that?
Well, I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with having my children having a difference of opinion, but when the other portion of the neighborhood, which is a vast majority outside of just two children, are not in that school, they're still being indoctrinated.
And what that has to do with your children?
Oh, no, maybe your dad's lying to you. Maybe the homeschooling, you know what I'm saying?
What does that have to do with your children?
These are hypotheticals, but because they live in a community, they play with other people's children.
But they would know, they would have a different opinion because you have shown them the right way.
Well, my kids, yeah.
So then what are you worried about then?
I was in a constant battle with trying to help them understand. Helping my children understand.
That's your job. You're their father. You're supposed to protect
Absolutely.
them. You're supposed to protect them from evil. And
Absolutely.
So now that you're protecting them from evil, they're going to see clearly. So when they go out into the world, they can deal with evil in the right way. They can overcome it rather than giving into it.
All right. I see what you're saying.
Is that the truth?
It is the truth.
So
yes,
what are you worried about then?
I have anxiety, so I go down rabbit holes.
Do you know that?
Jesse, I really appreciate your time, man. I don't want to keep you any longer. I really appreciate your time.
So let's start working
on the insightful things. I really appreciate it.
No, I know. Joe, let's start working on you. Where's your wife, by the way, the kid's mother?
She's at home. She works.
You still married to her?
No, we're divorced.
Oh, I see. Okay. And so let's work on Joe. Have you gone and forgiven your mother for making you so weak?
Not yet.
Why not?
Because I think I need to learn a little bit more about God.
Do you know you
in order to really do that?
Why? What do you? God said forgive. What else you need to learn about that?
I just want to be closer to him when I go to forgive.
Do you see that you need to forgive?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
And so who do you think is allowing you to see that you need to forgive?
Another very valid point.
What? No. What? That was a question.
But it's a question that you already know the answer to.
No, I want to know if you know.
Yeah, I said yes.
Who is causing you to see that you need to forgive?
Oh, God.
And so isn't that close enough? How close you want to get? You're one with him.
I don't know. Again, I'm new to all this, so I don't know if there's any rules that I need to adhere by and not just follow my heart. You know what I mean? Like, to a certain extent when it comes to that.
So when God allows you to see that you need to forgive, there's something else you need to be following?
Well, say it again.
So you see you have the anger and you need to forgive, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And you realize that is God who is allowing you to see that, right?
I'm understanding that now. Yeah.
So how close do you want to get? You're closer than you can possibly be.
Okay, I just thought I needed to like read the Bible and like be more well versed before doing that. But
Why did you think that?
I don't know. I have no idea. I just thought that it was part of it.
All thoughts are all lies all the time about anything. All the thoughts are of your daddy, the devil.
Well, the devil's not my daddy.
If you believe thoughts, the devil is your daddy. Why do you worship thoughts? Why do you believe him if he is not your daddy?
He's not my daddy.
Then why do you worship him?
He's not my daddy.
So why do you worship him then?
I don't worship the devil. Are you crazy?
Believing thoughts is worshiping the devil. Are you crazy?
Okay, so where was that said in the Bible?
Yeah, bring all thoughts into captivity. My voice.
Okay, so I haven't read the Bible. Perhaps that, to come closer, I should read the Bible, right?
No. There's nothing wrong with reading the Bible, but not to remember. What you need to do, the right way to do it is to be born again of the Father. You got to forgive your mother for turning you away from your earthly father. And then forgive your earthly father, for not protecting you. And then you will enter into the kingdom of heaven, and you will live.
I haven't talked to him in 23 years, so I don't plan on talking to him anytime soon.
Why not?
And I don't even know where he lives. I don't have his phone number or anything, so I don't have an opportunity. I can say that I forgive him, but I can't say that to him because I don't know where he is.
And do you have anger towards your father?
Not anymore.
And why did you have anger before?
Because he left us when I was 5, and he wasn't much of a father.
He didn't leave you. He left your mother. Your mother lied to you.
Well, okay. You're right. He had a relationship with my mom, but when he walked out on her.
He didn't walk down her. He couldn't deal with the hell in her because she's just like his mama. Just like your wife is just like... just like your ex-wife is just like your mother. Same thing.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy to think of when putting things in that perspective. Yeah.
You end up marrying your mother that you could not deal with because you didn't overcome your mother before you married the same kind of woman. Your father did the same thing, man. Your father loved you. He just couldn't deal with your mother. And your mother gave you the false impression he walked out on you, and he did not.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you when I was a kid what lies she told me, if he was coming to pick me up or not, if he was trying to stop that from happening to hurt him or something. I couldn't tell you what was going on there.
I have no doubt that your mother hates your father, and she doesn't want you to have anything to do with him. She would rather destroy you than for you to be with your father.
She hasn't said anything. She hasn't said anything good about him. Ever.
Right, of course.
Nothing.
I know. That's why you end up marrying mama. You resent your mother. You need to forgive her. Hey, mother, I'm sorry for resenting you. I know now you can help yourself. My wife was just like you. I'm sorry for resenting you. And then keep away from this evil woman and work on your life. Forgive your father. I hope you can find him to have a talk with him. But if you can't, your situation is the same as his situation, except that you're trying to be closer to your children. You don't know why why he couldn't be close to you. I'm sure your mother kept him away from you.
I'm trying to not make the same mistakes and the hurt that I felt with him for my kids, if that makes sense to you.
You're not going to be able to help it because your nature needs to change. You're not going to be able to help it until your nature changes, and that's going to only change when you forgive your mother and forgive your father for not protecting you. He couldn't help it. He didn't know how to deal with her. Then you won't make the same mistake. But if you don't forgive, you will. You're already making the same mistake. Look at the woman you married. Look at how you see life already. You're already doing the same thing. Your nature, you need a brand new nature, and it will change when you forgive. And your life will be totally different than what your father and mother have or have had. But you got to work on you, Joe. You can't save the
No,
world.
you're right. No, you're absolutely right. We have to mow our own lawns before we can try to help someone else.
Take the stone out of your own eye before you throw a stone at someone else.
Yes. Well, thanks, Jesse. I appreciate it.
So, are you doing the silent prayer?
I don't know it.
Go to www.silentprayer.video, and I want to recommend it. www.silentprayer.video. I want to recommend that you start doing that, so that God can calm you down, bring you out of the darkness of your imagination, and the light can carry you the rest of the way. It's going to be amazing for you and your children.
This is why I felt like I need to get closer to God and have God in my life, because He hasn't been there. Probably.
He's always
I haven't allowed him to be there.
Yeah, He's always been there, but because of your anger and stuff, you didn't see Him.
Yes.
So work on you, and so you can see how to guide your children, and let everybody else go to hell until they're ready to overcome their hell. Most people love their hell, Joe. There's nothing you can do about it. You can't even save yourself. How are you going to save someone else, especially when they don't want to be saved? And even if they wanted to be saved, you can't save them. I can't save anybody. Only God can do that. They got to return to the Father.
I just felt like it wasn't me trying to save someone. I felt more along the lines of it was me trying to just bring awareness.
Right, but you didn't even have awareness yourself. Now you do.
No, you're right, yeah.
But you have it from within.
I'm trying. This is a step-by-step process.
Yeah, you are now, so work on you, all right?
Yep, yes, sir.
Let me know how it goes.
Have a good day, Jesse, all right? Stay safe and stay healthy, man.
You too, buddy. Take care.
Thank you.
All right. Amazing.